Before we begin, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Dolynny TV and on Instagram at Tyson Dolynny. You guys want to make sure you see what's going on behind the scenes here on Dolynny TV. That's where to find it. Let's get going. This is Dolynny TV, and guys, a big welcome back to some MLB The Show 18. I know I'm wearing a hockey shirt, but no, we're actually talking MLB The Show today. The Toronto Blue Jays franchise mode, of course, and let me tell you, I'm excited for this one, because this is kind of the make or break episode of the season. Usually we get into that at some point in August, September. You know how it's gone in the past. But we're 30-29. We're averaging a 5.08. It's just ugly. And 6.5 games back of the Rays, the Red Sox, and the Orioles, all ahead of us at this point. And you see right here, the big thing we have to worry about is the pitching rotation coming through. Corbin Burnes doing all right. James Paxton not. Like, nobody with a sub 3.72 ERA, except for the man we acquired last episode in Corbin Burnes, he's having a career year, absolutely 110%. It's just a matter he's got to go deep and get us a couple of big wins. Joe Biagini struggled in his call-up. Edwin Diaz has really struggled, so has Ryan Baraki. Sam Sims, nothing to be said about him. He is an absolute beauty in the bullpen for us. Yasiel Sierra, same thing. Like, Yasiel Sierra, all across his career, he's kind of been that 374. Like, last year was his absolute best season, but give him that it was basically, in all essence, the World Series victory team, right? You got to perform good. And 322 in his first season in the major leagues, where he was 13-5 with 1 save. So he was a beauty for us then. Danny Barnes, and now taking over the closing role is Jordan Hicks, the closing pitcher, the incumbent behind, or the, I don't even know what the term for that is, the man waiting in the wings when it came to the closing pitching role for the Toronto Blue Jays. He's had quite a few good seasons. I mean, 3.23s, but a career ERA of 6.42, not good, but he has been in the major leagues for quite a few years in note, and totally skipped out last year, so hopefully at 26 years old, he's ready to make an impact. I've changed around the lineups a little bit. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. getting the boost into the 4-hole. Garrett Aker, I'd like to take him out, and you know what, we'll move him down into the 6-hole and see if that changes anything for us. Tommy Wells doing all right. Ramon Santos, and now Riley Adams, of course, for the injured Aramis Garcia. So let's get through New York and Baltimore here. A 4-game set against New York, and right there we need to get Aramis Garcia back into the full-fledged lineup, because we can't afford to have him sit on the bench too long. Riley Adams, Aramis Garcia, and Riley Adams, Aramis Garcia. And you know what? I'll leave Riley Adams in against lefties, no DH, just to give him a shot in the lineup. But that should help us out. So we've got some big division games here, up 4-2. Chris Bryant 0-for-1. We win this one 6-4. We hung on just barely. And against New York, now tied 1-1. Aroldis Chapman trying to close it out. Tommy Wells, man, at second base. Yes, sir. He cashes the runner. And we get the job done. And we take a couple victories from the New York Yankees. Now in the bottom half of the 9th inning, we lose that one to Baltimore. Tim Lopes injured in AAA. Will keep him active. Get a victory there, down by a run. Carlos Correa trying to cash the runner, can't do it. And now you see we've just found ourselves in a bunch of 1-run inning games in the bottom of the 9th every game, and that just really cost us against Baltimore. We stay steady, 6.5 back. The lineup, Rowdy Tellez all of a sudden going cold, but I mean, he's batting .303. What can you blame him on there for, right? There's not much to blame him there. Chris Bryant, 17 homers, 46 RBIs, 16-41 for Carlos Correa. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. up to 245 batting average. Like, Garrett Aker finally coming around, though. That's what we need to see. We need to see Garrett Aker raising himself up in the bottom of the lineup to get back into that 2-hole. So Tampa Bay, Washington, Atlanta. We'll see how that translates for us. James Paxton pitching a beauty, gets only 1 run allowed. And then we win that one 5-1. So that's a huge series win against against the Tampa Bay Rays. Man, I'm having a hard time talking. A lot of distractions today for some reason. George Springer against Jordan Hicks. Yes, sir, we get that close. And then we lose 1, but we end up winning 2 against Atlanta. So we go 5 games above 500 and still stick 6.5 back of the Tampa Bay Rays. How clutch would have a series sweep against Tampa been? Take a look at the lineup. Albert Almora just mashing it still, looking to beat that career high pace of last year. Rowdy Tellez doing all right, 19 homers, 55. Chris Bryant coming alive, same with Carlos Correa. We're going to flip these two and see what they can do. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he's gone cold. Garrett Aker, though, 5 homers, 24 RBIs. He's starting to kind of change pace here, get it going. Tommy Wells really getting it done, and you see Ramon Santos starting to pick up his slack. So things are looking good. Kevin Connor off the bench looking absolutely fantastic. Almost like to stick him out there in right field and see what he can do for us, but we'll leave it be for now, and hopefully he can come around. The pitching rotation, Corbin Burns gone cold, but only a 269 average still. James Paxton down to 359. Marcus Stroman. There you go. So we are starting to heat up in the pitching rotation. We're getting wins for a reason, right? You don't start winning just for something to do. And Jordan Hicks, yeah, sure, he's given up 2.93 ERA, but he's also had 4 saves, which has been the most clutch closing pitcher we've had in a long, long time. So let's go get through this month up to this Detroit series and see what this does for us. As Sam Sims trying to close it down in the 5-4 for the Angels. We get a victory there. Albert Almora, they end up taking 2 more runs. Okay, we're starting to get W's though. We're starting to pick it up. Like, the pitching is really picking up the pace. Yeah, sure, okay, it's a little bit of back pain for Marcus Stroman, but he does all right. And would we like to stop simulating? Absolutely not, because we are starting to come through in the clutch here. Anthony Gose, a former Blue Jays player. Don't know if it's the same Anthony Gose. Don't correct me on that. But you see Garrett Aker 3 for 3. We win this one 7-0. Tough one there. And Manny Delgado went to the 60-day DL. We'll utilize Marcus Stroman. Save situation, you betcha Jordan Hicks got that closed down. Bisons will auto fix their lineup. And now chance to clutch it. We do. And there you go. We're 47-37. We picked up the pace. We're 4 games back. And we're a game and a half back in the wild card. That is a productive run right there. Tampa Bay, the Orioles, Boston. We're in 4th, but we're 4 games back in the AL East. It's a wild year, that is for sure. Albert Almora, look at him go. 13 homers, 42 RBIs. Rowdy Tellez, 21-57. Like, that is an absolute monster year for Rowdy Tellez right there in the 2-hole. Carlos Correa picking it up. Same with Chris Bryant, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And I think we found ourselves a spot for Garrett Aker at this point. 7 home runs, 29 RBIs. You see he's on pace to pretty much do his runs for the entire year as well. So we should be good to go. He just needs to start getting on base more. And Ramon Santos going cold here, 5 homers. So we're going to get, you know what? We got to get Dwight Smith Jr. back in there. It's that simple. Get Dwight Smith Jr. back into the lineup. And against lefties, I don't really favor him. So we're going to get Kevin Connor in there against lefties and see what he can do with that 274 batting average. Pitching rotation, though, absolutely, man, coming alive. Corbin Burns starting to struggle. So let's get right up to the All-Star break here. See what we can do against the New York Mets. 6-0, Corbin Burns. Diss the man. Diss the god himself. And he comes through in the clutch here. Only giving up 1 run in possibly 9 innings pitched. Travis Demeritte, what is he all about? Second baseman. 29 years old. 79 overall, up from a 77. Never really produced a lot of great seasons other than last year, so we're going to kind of politely decline that. And against New York here, down 6-5. Andrew Miller trying to close us out. We forced it to deep extras, boys. That's a moral victory, that is for sure. But then New York takes advantage of a burnt-out staff, and we lose that one 7-3. So a couple big games there. And now, bottom of the 8th, this is a big one. Carlos Correa's got to cash some runners here, and the Yankees end up taking that AAA All-Star game, and we go on a losing skid here. Ken Labine, former Blue Jays player in this franchise mode, once again traded at 23 years old for Michael Fulmer. Okay. And there you go. So we end up winning that game, getting a trade offer here. Corbin Burns for Billy Hamilton and Ildarmo Vargas, who's a 70. Why would we do that? Billy Hamilton, like, yeah, sure, he's 80. What? That is a terrible trade offer. How does that even pan out? Like, that doesn't even make sense, boys. That is an awful trade offer. So let's get up to this Boston series, take a couple games from them. 9-0, Rico Encarnacion, our man that gets the job done. 9-0, we get the shutout. And today's the futures game. We'll auto utilize Yancy Diaz. We'll stop simulating. So we 4-game sweep the Boston Red Sox, go 54-41. And yeah, that looks a little bit more like it. We are on top of the Red Sox. We're game and a half back of the Orioles, and we are tied for the wild card, the second one, not the lead, but that's okay. So things starting to look better in Toronto Blue Jays land. I'll run you through the stats really quick. Rowdy Tellez absolutely dominating up there. That is monster numbers in the tube hole. 26 homers, 69 RBIs, 19 homers, 55 for Carlos Correa, 23, 66 for Chris Bryant, 18, 61 for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. See, the averages are good. That's not why I'm not worried about it. 8 homers, 35 RBIs for Garrett Aker. He has a chance to have a career year. He just has to step up and get it going the rest of the way home here. Tommy Wells, 1038, so he's doing pretty much season average. More home runs than he's ever had, though. And there you go. That's why you re-inject Dwight Smith Jr. He steps in and gets the job going, that is for sure. And Aramis Garcia, 252, he's clutching it. Kevin Connor, 310, 13 RBIs. Yes, sir. This team is changing pace, boys. That is for sure. You see the bing bang, the ERAs are coming around. Mackenzie Gore starting to heat up. Man, Rico Encarnacion up to an 82, guys. I will catch you guys for the All-Star Edition next time out. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Dolynny TV. So long.